Hello and welcome back. Today, I wanted to share a recent remodel, I guess you could call it a remodel, that I've done to my office. I'm not a fan of clutter and being cramped up and surrounded by things. There are times that I can't help it because I have limited space, 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag, if you know what I'm saying. But I alleviate the problem as much as possible, as often as possible. I'm always trying to be more organized, and also trying to make my office nicer to look at, and more comfortable to be in, even if I'm the only one who's ever in it. So for starters, I spent the last few weeks designing a board and batten accent wall, and then actually getting it up on the wall. A lot of the time was spent just waiting for tools that I could borrow, because I don't own most of what I needed to use, like the table saw and the miter saw. I had to borrow those from friends and family. Most days I would also come home from work exhausted and just didn't want to do much, so the majority of the work was done on the weekends. The first thing I had to do was move everything off this wall, which was no small feat. And it also meant getting rid of about 60% of what you're looking at in this photo, not including the cute little pictures my nephew drew for me and the notes that he wrote me. Everything I needed to keep was moved to the opposite wall or placed in storage bins. Now that I had all of that moved, I needed to patch all the holes I put in the walls over the years, mostly thumbtack holes. Why do I own so many thumbtacks? I wanted as flawless a wall to start with as possible, so that's why you're seeing a lot of patches. I also found a $40 gallon of gray, bluish paint on the Oops rack at Home Depot marked down to $10. So I laid down a first layer of paint. Then I took measurements of the wall from side to side and top to bottom and jumped into Tinkercad to start designing the layout of the boards. As you can see, I went through several iterations before finally settling on one. I also found these guitar models to try to get an idea of how they would look. Pretty neat. Once I settled on a design, I took all the measurements, which told me exactly how much of this finger joint board I would need. After checking the prices online, I went and picked it all up from Home Depot and got to cutting and sticking it to the wall. I used liquid nail and a finish nailer. I caulked everything in and painted it all the next day. I also designed these covers in Tinkercad to block off the coax and Ethernet ports on the wall, and I printed them out of black PLA. I don't use those ports now, but I don't want to lose the option to use them in the future by patching the holes with drywall. I also designed this outlet cover and switch cover and replaced the light switch with a black one, but I still need to replace the outlet with a black one. The guitar hangers I use are string swing, and they're nice, but the wood color doesn't exactly go with anything else on this wall, so I designed and printed these to cover them up. This worked on all of them except for the Hercules hanger that I have to use to hold my Telecaster. It won't fit on the string swing ones, so I'll have to figure out something in the near future to cover that one up. On a side note, I kind of wish all of these were the Hercules hangers. This thing is pretty nice, and that added clamping makes it feel a lot more secure. At any rate, it was nice to finally get my guitars back on their hangers and out of this corner. Funny enough, in order to get all the hangers at the same height, I used a Creality filament box and a 7-inch piece of this board to use as kind of an alignment tool by butting them up against the top board. What can I say? I'm a genius. Okay, and here's a look at everything so far. I still need to cable manage, so don't mind all the cables going everywhere. And here I actually put 2 desks together and made my own mega desk.
All I care about is mega desk. That is all I care about. Getting more mega desk.
This is my 3D printer and guitar setup corner, I guess, over here. I'm not finished by any means with this room. I still want to get rid of the weird tan color on the other walls and organize more things. But considering what it used to look like, I'd say I've made a huge improvement. Alright, and that's all I've got for you today. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. I appreciate you tuning in. Catch you in the next one, and as always, have the best day ever.